Hey guys, it's Jimmy Pokemon here, and I'm sending some cards off to PSA to be featured at their San Diego Comic-Con booth. And so what I do in this video is just show you the cards I'm sending them, and then I included little note cards of descriptions and stuff that I figured that they could use to just as like little pointers and stuff that I could bring out. So getting these from a collector versus maybe looking them up on their own would just be a different perspective. So the first thing we have is the first edition base set booster pack. I thought this was pretty unique, pretty cool. Again, it's kind of weird to grade packs, but at the same time, like this is like the first set ever made. It's a Charizard pack and a PSA 10. So I thought that was like, that was pretty cool to send. And really the whole goal is to get people who maybe aren't necessarily into Pokemon or maybe are loosely familiar to just stop by the booth and then just to check out the cards. So there's a little bit of a different focus here. So I just wrote, first English pack ever made. It has the long crimps and then also the artwork. This Charizard art wasn't printed in English. It was actually a Japanese promo artwork, which is kind of unique. And so moving on, we have the Unlimited base set Charizard here. This is a shadowed version. Well, they're all shadowed. I'm just thinking of different points I wrote. So he has the shadow in the border, so you can tell it's the Unlimited base set. It's also 1999, so it's not that final print run of the base set. And it has the Galaxy holofoil there. And you can see here that I just wrote that it's probably the most collected card of the 8 print runs. The shadow was added to differentiate it between the shadowless and the first edition. It's a feature that they use going forward for the rest of the Wizard of the Coast sets. And it's the iconic illustration by Arita, who is still printing Charizards to this day. So pretty unique there. And this is the shadowless Charizard. Very neat. So he has an older cert there. You can see it doesn't have a shadow in the border. That's how you can tell the difference right there. And sorry about this makeshift setup. I actually have a ton of cards over here I'm trying to grade, but I wanted to make this before I actually ship this out. And what I wrote here was rumored to have been printed at the same time as first edition. That's not confirmed, but a lot of people talk about that, how they made both versions at the same time, and they printed half in the first edition, the other half they didn't print. I mean, it's hearsay, so it's hard to say, but it keeps popping up, so I added it. There's no shadow, like I said. It's the second English Charizard ever made. I mean, there might be tops or like some other Charizards that mix in there, but when you're talking about the English Wizards of the Coast Charizards, this is number 2. And then I put the auction price there at 13 to 19,000, roughly what it's been going for last year. And it's a tough card to grade. Yeah, it was really low pop there for a while, probably like 28 or so. And this is the thick stamp first edition base set Charizard. Pretty cool there. And one of the most sought after cards, around probably 50,000 by the time the Comic-Con rolls around. I think the highest sales are in like the 40s, mid 40s, something like that. So I don't know if 50,000 are on sale yet, but you know how like we do like a magazine article or we talk about card values and people come and watch this video later or down the road and it's like the values already changed. So yeah, that's me speculating on a number, but hey, it will probably be 50,000. There are plenty of people that want it. This is the Diamond Pearl Level X Charizard, came from the 10. There's nothing incredibly special or rare about the card. It's about a $500 card. I'm just talking about just weird little fun facts and things. I thought it was cool that the artwork was different than the other Level X. It was kind of a change from, just having the same artwork, maybe different holofoil pattern, throwing like cracked ice or something or Cosmos on there. And they literally gave a different artwork for this Charizard. I think it's pretty badass Charizard artwork. So that was really the main reason I included it in this. And again, the goal for the booth is just to attract people to, check out Charizards and check out Pokemon cards and maybe ask PSA a question. And I'm not necessarily trying to drive business to PSA, but I am trying to get more people involved in the hobby, which helps collectors as a whole, if that makes sense. So it will probably give more business to PSA, but my overall goal is to make collecting more accessible, make collecting easier, and make collecting more available to people who maybe are curious, that are on the edge, that want to get into it. So I see the hobby growing, through more people collecting and more people appreciating the cards as a positive. So that's really my main goal in helping PSA with this. So this is the first Charizard EX. I feel like I probably should have called it Charlie Herlocker to give me more pointers on some of these, because he knows Nintendo on like way better than I do. This is one of the first Charizards after Nintendo regained control. It's 2004 Fire Leaf Green. I think there was EX Dragon maybe before that too, which was like the national stamp Charizard. So it's not the first one, I believe. but it's the first Charizard EX. Yeah, that's true. One of the lowest points of Pokemon, and a lot of collectors actually like this set. I do see a lot of collectors that choose Fire Red, Leaf Green to collect a master set of over other sets. So when you see Nintendo, a lot of people don't actually collect the full Nintendo sets. But with Fire Red, Leaf Green, there are a ton of people that really like that set. And that's a kind of unique fun fact. But beautiful Charizard. You can see the border is hollow as well. So neat little addition there with the EX cards that Nintendo introduced to the hobby. Beast of a Charizard right here. Gold Star Charizard. You can see the shininess on that. And the reason I really like this card is it like extends past the border. You can see like the wings and stuff and the fire and flames. And it's just dark like Game of Thrones. I don't even watch Game of Thrones. I should. All right, I started a whole nother thing there, but I do plan to watch Game of Thrones, but I just think that's like just kind of sick how that goes. I just put it as part of the Gold Star set. It's one of the most valuable cards in the Gold Star set. You have cards like Torchic and Rayquaza and a few others that fluctuate. I didn't want to put like, oh, it's the number 3 most valuable or something like that because they change all the time, but it is one of the most valuable in the Gold Star set. And I did say it's most valuable Charizard from 03 to 07. I couldn't think of another one that was more valuable, so here you go. And I think at the time of this recording, it's like maybe like 4,000 to 4,500, somewhere like in that range would be my guess. Yeah, so beautiful card. Moving on, we have the Staff Charizard from Evolution's pre-release. This is the first Staff Charizard that I'm aware of. Not the first Stamp Charizard. That was a national Stamp Charizard way back when, but it is the first Staff Charizard. And please correct me if I say anything wrong in here. I'm sure I'm saying tons of wrong things. It was difficult to grade, the random distribution method, so when it got sent out to different like card shops, basically they didn't know if they were going to get the Charizard, the Mewtwo, or Gyarados. They weren't sure. So a lot of shops actually didn't even get a Charizard. And so that's different from the Staff Charizard that came out recently with, it was one of the, I think it was Team Up maybe. Pretty much, I think every shop got a Staff Charizard, and correct me if I'm wrong there, but this was much, much harder to find, and it was tough to grade. A lot of these did not get PSA 10s, and so the PSA 9, 8, 10 ratios are not in favor of the 10s like they are for some of the Charizards. And so, really cool fun fact, this card consistently sells for $2,800. That's a crazy number in my opinion for a new card. But the price has been supported around that range, so it makes me think that there are people that either don't want the card to go below that price or that it will maintain it, because there have been a lot of auctions around that range that when that happens, generally someone's either supporting it or there's just enough demand for it at that price point. And so I included one Japanese Charizard here. This is the Blueback Charizard, the no number. You can see in the top right, it doesn't have a Pokedex number up there. It's the first Charizard ever made. It was in the 1995 Top Sun set, and Blueback was the first set. It was later found out that the ones without the Pokedex number were the first print run of that set. It was added later, then subsequently included on the Greenback set. And so it's literally the first Charizard. And I've only seen a 9. I've never seen a 10, so I'm calling it the highest card graded till someone can show me a 10. And I know there's multiple 9s. I don't have the only 9 by any means, but it's, it's hard to find. There are a few Bluebacks out there, and the Blueback price actually jumped lately for the 10s with the number, of course. But yeah, this is a really hard card to find, and it's in beautiful, beautiful condition. So I show you the back just so you can see the Blueback. Sometimes after I make these videos, I go back and I'm like, oh man, that would have been cool to actually show the back so people know what it looks like. And sometimes when I have the cards in front of me, I don't necessarily want to say I take it for granted, but it's like I can look at them anytime. But I have to remind myself to show you guys all the ins and outs, so at least I can share that experience with you. Then I also included this Charizard from Flashfire, and I included this over the full art because the Rainbow Rare is next. And the reason I did this is because it's the most valuable Charizard from Flashfire. It's the blue. I always get it mixed up if it's the X or the Y or like which one it is, but it's a secret rare pretty much. And this Charizard is always priced consistently higher than the other secret rare. And I thought it was really cool with the blue and the flames and the gold and really neat artwork. It's actually harder to find than the others. With as many of these that have been graded and as many that are on the market, that have been on the market, it's surprising they don't pop up as often. And anytime you see like a different looking Charizard, if you're not a Pokemon collector or something like that, you might just want to check it out. And so I just called it the highest value Charizard in the set, and it's a secret rare. So didn't really have any key pointers there, but I'm sure that there are more out there. And I'm doing this like, I'm sorry, but I'm doing this in a little bit of a rush. But I just, in an effort to continue making content and do things that provide value to you guys, I just want to make a quick video to include on the channel. So this is the hyper rare or rainbow rare Charizard. The hyper is the Japanese term, rainbow is the English term, which I have since learned. So I am learning. The demand for this is crazy. You can see points 2 and 4 are actually the same point. It's amazing that this is a pop 617 card at the time I'm recording this. And whoops, well, it's still here. And I put the number 300. I wanted to put 350, but I think some sold around 325, maybe around that range. And that's really when the pop was over in the 3 figures. And so it's like someone had a buy price at a certain point, and they just said, hey, I will buy this card anytime it hits this point. Auctions have been crazy. And right now, I'd say it's 700, 750. I think I've even seen some at 8, but I'd put 700 to be conservative for the price point. So you literally have 617 times 700. That's the market cap of that card. That is insane for a new card. So really, I included this because it's more of a full-art Charizard that's most valuable in the highest demand over Flashfire, even though Flashfire was the first full-art Charizard. But this is in so much more demand that I wanted to include this rather than 2 full-art Charizards. And I guess this will be kind of a reveal since I have never shown this card before. But this is the Techno Charizard. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous Charizard. Topps Chrome has been exploding lately. It is an insane demand. And I actually considered collecting all the Topps cards, Techno, Sparkle, but I went through the prices before they exploded, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. Even at the prices before they went up, I was like, yeah, these are too hard to grade, too hard to find. And what's crazy is a lot of people that collected these actually protected them very well. And so you're seeing a lot of these cards get high grades. And I think it's because they were collected by collectors. Topps Chrome is an expensive set. So it's interesting how many high grades you see of these when you think about how hard they are to put together. You can see Techno in the back. At the time of recording this is a Pop 3 card. So it is very hard to find. And the order of rarity when it comes for Topps Chrome is you have Techno, the Sparkle, and Spectra, and then the regular Chrome cards are at the bottom. So it's very, very valuable. I've heard a few really high offers for PSA 9 versions of these floating around, which actually were almost close to what I valued the 10 at. So it's kind of, what's the 10 valued at now? I have no idea. So I'd probably say it's a 5-figure card at this point. Pop 3 in high demand, hard to find, and yeah, I know I think all of them out there in collections. They're in collections, so they're not really hitting the market, and they're not available. So I think that increases the demand even more. But yeah, these are all just gorgeous cards. I'll go through them one more time. I'm very happy to share these with the convention, all the fans and the collectors out there that are going to the Comic-Con maybe for reasons outside of Pokemon, but at least they'll get to see some pretty cool looking Charizard cards, and hopefully they'll go into their back to their mom's house and pull out their old collection, and maybe they have a first edition Charizard they need to grade, or like you never know. It's always that story of like, does someone have like 2 of these in their closet in their basement that could grade 10? It's always like the what if, and so it's excited to see what happens. So beautiful, beautiful. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Love to share content with you guys as I can. Try not to be one of those hype guys. Just try to make nice content that appeals to people kind of doing similar things or just interested, or just like to be a part of the journey. So I'll see you guys later. Until next time, take care.